Good evening, folks. This is Deb. Before I hit the hay, I wanted to make this video because, you know, the people that Donald Trump has elevated uh, or suggested for key positions in his cabinet essentially tell you all you need to know about what the Trump administration thinks of women in general, and by default, what the GOP thinks of women. And it isn't a whole lot. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, in my mind, the overturn of Roe should have been enough for women to have come forward squarely down on the side of Kamala Harris in this election, but it didn't work out that way. And I'm not interested in why white women didn't vote that way. There is nothing any woman can say to me that will make me understand the logic of voting for a man who has so little respect for women, and a man who himself is an adjudicated rapist with 27 other women in line behind E. Jean Carroll with the same kind of allegations. I can't fathom why women would vote for someone like that. To me, it just reeks of stupidity. But be that as it may, let's move on here, because Big Daddy isn't the only one with a problem with women, okay? We have Pete Hegseth, who he thought would be a good choice for the Secretary of Defense, a Fox News anchor, a weekend Fox News anchor. That's his qualification for the job, other than he served in the military, which really isn't enough for that kind of a position, okay? But Pete Hegseth has also been accused of rape. Now, he paid off the woman who accused him and made her sign an NDA. So he can deny that rape all he wants. But in my experience, basically what Pete Hegseth did was pay off this chick so that he wouldn't get fired from his job on Fox News. All right, that's what he was really worried about at the time he did that. Pete Hegseth, by the way, has also stated straight up, women do not belong serving in combat roles in the military, even though they have been for quite some time now. He has accused the military of lowering their standards to allow women to serve in combat. And I would like to remind everybody out there that his allegations have been disputed by both Mark Milley and Lloyd Austin, okay? Two men who have served in the military with females. Now, in my mind, Hegseth's little comment about women not being able to serve in combat should be enough to disqualify him from that position, but he's got plenty of other skeletons in his closet as well. Then we have Matt Gaetz, who Donald Trump thought would be a good choice for the highest law enforcement officer in the land as Attorney General, a man who has been under investigation now for sex trafficking underage girls, a man who we have now traced $10,000 in payments through Venmo to underage girls for sex. And he had to walk away from his nomination. And he walked away quickly so that they would not release, the ethics committee would not release the report. That is still an ongoing battle. Then let's move on to RFK Jr., another real charmer where women are concerned. Now, he's had several wives. He's cheated on all of them, including his latest wife, when he had his little sexting affair with the woman who wrote for, I forget, New Yorker, I believe it was. But RFK Jr. Kept a little black book of all the women he was having dalliances with, and he rated the women in this little black book. This is while he was married, by the way. Okay? He suggested to his wife, with whom he was going through a divorce at the time, that she would be better off, everybody would be better off if she were not alive anymore. And she accommodated him by killing herself. This guy's a real doll. RFK Jr., by the way, is accused of sexually assaulting the family nanny. And he wants you to know he's really sorry and he didn't mean to do it, if he did do it, but he can't recall doing it. He did apologize to her via text. And, maybe he couldn't remember it because of the brain worm that ate, part of his brain. That's another little story he has told, although several people in his family believe it could be his 18-year addiction to heroin that maybe caused part of his problem with remembering the most important pieces of his life. And then we have, of course, the billionaire of all billionaires who helped Donald Trump buy his way into the White House, Elon Musk, who has been accused of 8 former employees of SpaceX of unwanted conduct and comments of a sexual nature. There is a lawsuit in that regard. He is also accused of exposing himself to a SpaceX employee. And although he denies that, he did pay her too and make her sign an NDA. I just have to say that Donald Trump and the Republican Party show you every day just exactly what they think of women. Women are merely, I don't know, subservient playmates for men. That's essentially it. Total male dominance, total white male dominance mostly, but total male dominance over women is the ultimate goal in this country. And I don't know how much more evident these people have to make it before women start to understand this. It started with Roe, but it has gone downhill really rapidly here. Okay, we're looking at a president here and an administration over the next 4 years that seeks to make women just a lot more than second-class citizens. It seeks to make women playmates for the sexual whims of men in America. And we already have a real issue with misogyny in this country, and this kind of shit plays right into that. I don't agree with Meghan McCain on many things. In fact, on probably anything except what she wrote on Twitter not long ago, where she suggested that maybe, the Trump administration should just legalize sexual assault because that's the direction they were going in. And folks, you know what? Don't be surprised if it goes even further downhill from here. The only way we're out of this thing is by fighting back. This kind of shit cannot be tolerated. Men who have a history of sexual abuse should not be elevated to positions of power in our government. And it is time for women to get on the phone and call their legislators. And I don't care what state you're in or what legislators you have. You do not need to speak to these people, but you need to leave messages. There are people answering the phones. I suggest we need to break the Capitol phone lines and get on the phone now and tell everyone that you can find within your voice that this kind of behavior is unacceptable. I will talk to you all later.